Hi there, Logic language learners. Today's video is about the word about. So about is a word which comes up in lots of places. My mind's now thinking that my Canadian friends will be saying a boot or something differently, but there you go. So the word about, the computer's making a noise, how convenient. The word about has many different applications, and it's just one of those things where the word in English is actually referring to lots of different things, and therefore will be lots of different words in French. It's just one of those words that will ultimately need different translations according to the situation. So, as with anything we do, it's a really good idea for you to get used to synonyms and different ways of saying the same thing. Even when you know one way, it's a really useful thing to have that down. So let's start looking at them. So I, as you know, try and promote the use of sound and that you recognise the words in terms of sound, but obviously people do like to know how words are spelt, and so I'm attaching in the description box underneath the video a link to wordreference.com, fantastic website, do please use it. But use it properly, don't just jump at the first translation, make sure you get the appropriate one. So have a little look and you will see the spellings for the words I'm about to use. So let's start. The first usage of about I'd like to talk about is when you use about to mean more or less before a quality that you're giving something. So for example, how old is Luke? He is about 40. I will be about 10 minutes. Is that okay? Can you wait that long? So this about is a word which is saying what I'm about to tell you is not exact, it is just within that ballpark, it is within the area. So we have words like plus ou moins, more or less. We have environ, which if you look on the list underneath is spelt with no S there. Okay, there's another use in French of environ with the S on the end, that is different. Okay, that is like in the surroundings of. So environ with no S. We have, now this phrase is interesting, à peu près, à peu près. So don't let the à peu près get swallowed up. So I often hear un peu près because a bit is un peu. But the phrase here, which is synonymous, that means the same thing as environ, is à peu près. So Luke is about 40, 42 next birthday, but we'll say about 40. So Luc a environ 40 ans, Luc a à peu près 40 ans, Luc a plus ou moins, more or less, okay? Notice in this pronunciation, I'm saying plus ou moins, okay? I'm not saying plus ou moins. Good. We can also use the word vers. So I'll be ready about 4 o'clock. Moi je serai prêt vers 16 heures, okay? V-E-R-S, as written in the list underneath. So let's actually read the examples out that are on word reference. So they may well change by the time this video goes live or when you read this in several months. So there were about 15 people in our tour group. Il y avait environ, ou il y avait à peu près 15 personnes dans notre groupe de touristes. Okay? Notice the word is group, not group. Okay, pronunciation wise. So again, I heard a crash at about 10 o'clock last night. J'ai entendu un grand fracas vers my friend Priscilla, very close friend. Her favourite perfume is fracas. So j'ai entendu un grand fracas vers 22h hier soir, towards. J'ai entendu un grand fracas à 10h environ, or à environ 10h. Okay, you can move that one around. Or again, à peu près. So that is a nice one to have. Yeah, ouais, je serai, I'll be roughly 3/4 an hour. Je serai environ, à peu près, plus ou moins 3/4 d'heure. So that's a great one to have. Okay. The next one, and if I'm honest, one of the most commonly, I'd say overused rather than misused phrases is about to mean talking about a topic. Okay. So not to forget that the basic word that you can use here is de. You can use de. So he spoke to me about the problem. il m'a parlé de le problème, which will become il m'a parlé du problème. So the common thing to remember with any phrase in French which ends in a de, that it could obviously become du, du, des, des, when followed by de plus le or de plus les. So when you come across a phrase, any phrase, with in a minute I'm going to do a video on how to say thanks to. So for example, thanks to Luke, negative, à cause de, could become à cause du. So when you come across a phrase in French which ends in de, be really sure that you just practice in your mouth saying, you know, du or des as well, because it will become du or des if you've got a le or a lay after it, all right? So in this case then, so I want to talk to you about my problem. Je veux vous parler, or je veux te parler de mon problème. We've also got the words sur, which is on, okay? Not sur, higher up, which is sure, but sur, okay? We've got à propos de, which is the one that is nice to have, but don't overuse it, okay? We've got au sujet de, au, yeah? So you might have two joins in that sentence. So if you had about the, and then something masculine, au sujet du problème, you'd have an au and then a du. Vis-à-vis de, ones which aren't there, regardant, regarding, concernant, but don't forget you've got your basic de. Now, a little bit of more advanced grammar that is not contained in on the word reference page. So the other expression to bear in mind is when you use trident verbs, and I will attach the link underneath. So for example, I would like to speak to you about the problem. Je voudrais vous parler du... Let's say the story, because you can hear the word more easily. I'd like to talk to you about the story. J'aimerais vous parler de l'histoire. L'histoire dont j'aimerais vous parler. So when you use verbs that use de on their own, when you switch the object and the subject around, it will become dont. So can I just remind you, you do that. If, however, if this has lost you and you're lost at this point, please see the link underneath about trident verbs which use de, dont, and en. If you, however, use an expression that will use de at the end of a group preposition, so for example, au sujet de, you, or à propos de, you don't do anything silly like à propos dont. You would use the way you would use de and the... So if I gave you de to mean from, and I said the guy from whom, le mec de qui, or the, you know, the department from which, le département duquel. So it's only when we use de to mean of or about that we will use the word dont, D-O-N. So in other words, if you said about which, you know, à propos duquel, about whom a guy, à propos de qui. So don't forget, if you have de in a compound preposition, you will not end up using dont. If you don't understand that last section, it merely means don't worry, you're not ready for compound prepositions yet. If you do understand what I've just said, if you do regularly use à propos de, and you needed to give that some thought, then that's fantastic, okay? On the same topic then, of being about in terms of theme, remember we've got the verb, which is not down there, il s'agit de. Now this is a verb which is interesting because like il faut, it will largely only obviously ever be in the third person. So il s'agit de will be il, s apostrophe, a-g-i-t. And you are using the third person singular form of the verb agir, to act. Now agir or réagir, as you probably heard more often, is common. J'ai réagi, I reacted. It acts on itself about, il s'agit de means it's about. So Harry Potter is about a boy. Harry Potter s'agit d'un garçon qui devient magicien, who becomes a wizard, whatever, okay? Or the Harry Potter fans will say, one does not become a wizard, one is born a wizard, or something like that. I ain't no muggle. Yes, so that's a really useful one. Again, you've got a verbal expression with de in the middle. So il s'agit de, so dont il s'agit. Yeah, you could reverse it according to your sentence. Again, if that's too advanced for you, do not worry. So, for example, it's about about three guys who are looking for a job. You know, the story is about three guys who are looking for the job. L'histoire s'agit de trois mecs qui cherchent un travail, cherchent un boulot. Lovely. So, I went to the library to look for a book about insects. Je suis allé à la bibliothèque pour chercher un livre sur les insectes. Okay? So sometimes it will be topically, sur. À propos de could be a little bit more conversational. Yeah, okay. Rather than, you wouldn't say a book à propos, you know. Sur would be more thematic in theme for information. Regarding as in a life experience, as in I wanted to speak to you more about this, again would be vis-à-vis, concernant, regardant. But again, you could always go around it. I was looking for a book about insects. You know, if you needed to go around it, I was looking for a book which explains insects. Je cherchais un livre qui explique. Yeah, so you can always go around these things, okay? So that is the main problem area, I'd say. People tend to use à propos de too much, okay? Or they use it and they don't link it with what comes next. So, about the women, I wanted to talk to you about the women. If you used à propos de, fine. Je voulais vous parler à propos des femmes. Now, I'm stressing des here so that you guys notice de will be followed by le ou les. So, à propos du garçon, à propos des femmes. But normally, as I always say, we do not stress these words. We do not stress the do's and the days. They're not the stressed words in French, okay? So, to be on the subject of as well, we've also got traité de, okay? Which is, any of you who've studied Italian or Spanish, you will have come across that, okay? C'est traité de. Okay, to be about is to be on. Again, we're going to pick up the sur. So, for example, my presentation is about the effects of alcohol. This book is about a king who loses his crown. Mon exposé est sur les effets de l'alcool. Ce livre est sur un roi, un roi. You might know the word roi. It's famous for the king is dead, long live the king. Vive le roi est mort. Okay, can I remind you that the verb to live there is vivre, not habiter, because it's about being alive. Also, the verb is not vive, 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 it is vivivi. It is a soft, hard verb. Vive is the subjunctive. Yeah? It is not a command, it's not an imperative. Live! Oi, king! Live! It's not an imperative, it's a subjunctive. One of the few remaining subjunctives in English is God save the Queen. Because you're not saying, Oi, God, save the Queen. You're saying, I want that God save the Queen, in a roundabout way. So, again, a little comment for those of you who are more advanced. Those of you who don't quite get that yet, no problem. Next up, we've got, he was waving his arms about, shaking his legs about. Put your left hand in, your left, shake it all about, that kind of about, okay? And that would be comme un fou, like a mad person, or comme une folle, like a mad person, comme un dingue, yeah, comme un taré. A lot of these words are falling out of fashion now because it's mentally, in terms of mental health parlance, it's just a little bit rude to refer to people like that. But dans tous les sens, in all the senses. So there he was, shaking his arms all about, yeah, yeah. You know, il dansait dans tous les sens. Yeah, he was dancing in all directions, that kind of way. Okay, great. To be about to do something. Okay, to be about to do something is another very common one. Oh, Luke, I was just about to call you. J'étais on the point of calling you. Je suis sur le point de t'appeler. Okay. So I've just called you. Je viens de t'appeler. I come from calling you. I'm about to call you. Now, obviously, you could say I'm going to call you soon. Je vais bientôt. Yeah. But otherwise, I was just about to take a shower. J'étais sur le point de prendre une douche or prendre ma douche. Lovely, lovely. To turn about, as in to turn around. Yeah, so this, again, word reference, I was with an American for 13 years, so a lot of American speech seems quite natural and comfortable to me, but obviously making it clear for the UK users or Australian users here, we will tend to use about more in the States for certain expressions than we would in England.